Welcome to Learn English Journey. The clock ticked on the wall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. The kitchen was warm, filled with the smell of food. On the table, 2 plates waited, 2 forks, 2 glasses, but only 1 chair was occupied. Michael sat down, exhausted, his phone in his hand. His eyes scanned numbers, emails, messages. He ate in silence, not even noticing that the other chair was empty. For years, Laura had been there, every evening, sitting across from him, waiting for his attention, talking softly, asking about his day, hoping for his eyes to meet hers. But he had never really seen her. He had seen only his work, his phone, his ambitions. Now the chair in front of him was silent. The food was cold. The house was too quiet. Michael lifted his head at last, his heart heavy with a strange fear. Where was Laura? Why wasn't she there? For the first time in his life, he realized something terrifying. Love doesn't disappear in a storm. Sometimes it just fades, and then it's gone. Before we begin this story of love and regret, write in the comments, from which country and city are you watching? We love to see our Learn English Journey family from all over the world. Laura always woke up before Michael. She brewed coffee, toasted bread, and placed his favorite jam on the table. She waited for a smile, for a thank you, for any small word that showed he noticed her. Good morning, she said every day. Morning, he mumbled, without looking up from his phone. At night, she prepared dinner. Sometimes she lit a candle, placed flowers, or played soft music. She dreamed of conversation, of laughter, of holding his hand across the table. But Michael always came home tired. He sat down, ate quickly, and said, "I need to rest. I have work tomorrow." Laura's heart grew heavier each day. She told herself, maybe tomorrow he will see me, but tomorrow never came. The silence between them was louder than words. One evening, Laura cooked Michael's favorite meal, pasta with tomato sauce, fresh bread, apple pie. She decorated the table with candles and flowers. It wasn't just dinner, it was her birthday. She didn't remind him. Deep inside, she hoped he would remember. When Michael came home, he didn't notice the candles or the effort. He put his phone on the table, sighed, and said, "I had a long day. Why so much food?" Laura's smile trembled. "I thought maybe tonight we could celebrate, just the 2 of us." He nodded absent-mindedly, scrolling through messages. The night passed like any other. At midnight, Laura blew out the candles alone. Her birthday wish was simple. I wish he would see me. Weeks later, Laura tried again. She stood near the window, her voice soft. "Michael, can we talk?" "Later," he said. "Always later." That night she looked outside. Couples walked hand in hand, laughing. She remembered when she and Michael used to be like that. Before his phone, before his endless meetings, before the silence. Her eyes filled with tears. She wasn't angry anymore. She was tired of waiting for love that never came. The next day she made a decision. She prepared one last dinner. She set the table, 2 plates, 2 forks, 2 glasses. On the tablecloth she placed her wedding ring. When Michael arrived, he found the food untouched. He called her name. No answer. He searched the house. Silence. On the table, only the ring and the empty chair. Michael sat down, confused. For the first time, he really looked at the chair across from him. It was just a simple chair, wooden, a little old. But tonight, it was heavy with meaning. He touched the ring. His hands shook. "Laura," he whispered. The silence screamed louder than any words. Memories filled his mind. Laura's smile at their wedding, her laugh during their first trip, her voice asking him to talk, her eyes shining on her birthday. He realized, too late, that love is fragile. You cannot ignore it. You cannot push it aside. And now, she was gone. Michael couldn't live with the silence. He started searching for Laura. He called her family. He asked her friends. He walked through places they had once visited together. Weeks passed. Nothing. Then, one afternoon, by chance, he saw her. Laura was sitting at a cafe, sunlight on her face. She looked beautiful, more alive than he remembered. She was smiling. She was laughing. But she wasn't alone. A man sat across from her, holding her hand gently, listening to her every word. His eyes never left hers. The chair next to her was not empty anymore. Michael froze. His heart broke inside his chest. For a moment, Laura's eyes met his. She didn't look angry. She didn't look sad. She looked peaceful. She gave him a small, distant nod, like someone who had already said goodbye long ago. Michael stepped back, unable to breathe. He understood. She had found the love she deserved, and he had lost her forever. Michael returned home that night and sat at the table. He said it again. 2 plates, 2 forks, 2 glasses. But across from him, the chair stayed empty. Every evening, he did the same ritual. Friends asked him why. "Why do you keep an empty chair at your table?" Michael would smile sadly and answer, "Because once someone I loved sat there. She gave me her heart, but I was too blind to see it. Now, this chair will never be filled again." The chair became his punishment, his reminder, his lesson. Love is a gift. If you don't value it, one day you may sit alone, with only an empty chair to keep you company. If you liked this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.